Gentlemen, a lot of people have been waiting for this night.
Yes, and I feel an internal sense of dread bubbling up as I wait for Biden to completely drop the ball.
President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate's to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power.
I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all.
Respected my ass. She taught at Notre Dame.
Even if we did it after the election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know.
Then stop pretending that the American people want this. If you want to be corrupt, but don't pretend to be good.
And we won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose her. And by the way, the Democrats, they wouldn't even think about not doing it.
But the Republicans set the precedent, so it doesn't really matter what the Democrats thought in the past now, does it?
They had Merrick Garland, but the problem is they didn't have the election. So
if you want to go by who's currently in power, do that. If you want to go by the will of the people, clearly the upcoming election is a better reflection of what the people want than what happened 4 years ago, is it not? Choose one.
They were stopped.
Nice. So they were stopped. Not that we stopped you for purely political reasons. They just were stopped. Who knows by whom?
The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is. And that say occurs when they vote for United States senators and when they vote for the President of the United States. They're not going to get that chance now because we're in the middle of an election already. The election has already started. Tens of thousands of people have already voted. And so the thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is, because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect as vice president. Now, what's at stake here is the president's made it clear he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which will strip 20 million people from having insurance, health insurance now, if it goes into court. But she's written before she went on the bench, which is her right, that she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional. The other thing that's on the court, and if it's struck down, what happens? Women's rights are fundamentally changed. Once again, a woman could be pay more money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy. They were able to charge a woman more for the same exact procedure a man gets. And that ended when we, in fact, passed the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million people who have pre-existing conditions, and they'll be taken away as well. Those pre-existing conditions, the insurance companies are going to love this. And so it's just not appropriate to do this before this election.
All right. There aren't 100 million people with pre-existing conditions.
If you count old people, there almost certainly are.
As far as the say is concerned, the people already had their say.
Right, we've gone over this already. Skip. Boy, Trump is so fat.
People, you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very happy with.
That's simply not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialist.
All right, everybody, take a drink.
What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. We do not wipe any. And one of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won were saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still. They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
They didn't elect you because of that. The people want Medicare for all. They elected you because they thought you could win against Trump. This has proven to be false based on your results in this debate.
Not what you've said,
But
and it's not what your party has said.
That is simply
your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your party wants
simple.
to go socialist.
Take a shot, boys.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the
Not according
Democratic
to
Party
Harris.
is what I, in fact, approved of. The 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived?
God, he's not coked up enough. Please, give him more Adderall.
Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act. And
Joe, you've had
pre-existing
308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military.
307,000 people in the enrollment system for the VA had already died, but nowhere does that prove that Biden did anything wrong or that they died from lack of health care.
And if you were here,
Look,
it
here's
wouldn't be
the deal.
200, it would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw.
Not as late as 3 months late since the time you learned about the coronavirus and the time that you denied that it even existed.
All right, gentlemen,
Which was heavily
Mr. President,
you would have
Mr.
been much
President,
later, Joe.
Mr. President,
much later.
Mr. President,
You're talking about 2 million people.
You're
Mr.
not gonna be able to
President, as
shut
a
him up.
moderator,
Chris Wallace did an admirable job trying to stop Trump from trampling all over Biden, but in the end of the day, you have to have a mute button.
The president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court.
Trump making a semantic argument. Oh, technically it's not in the ballot.
You don't know her view on Roe v. Wade. You don't know her view.
But we kind of do, don't we? Alright, Joe Biden won this segment. Polls show that most Americans prefer that the Supreme Court seat not be filled until after the next election. Biden could have mentioned that, but Trump ultimately is the one who failed to demonstrate why his side is correct.